Hi everyone, it's Andrew from RC. Welcome to the... Hi everyone, it's Andrew. Welcome to the channel if you've never been before. And we are here for my almost weekly catch-up of my Army Unimog build. And we are some way through it now, as you can see. I'm at the point now where the cab has been painted and lacquered, so there's a little bit of a shine on it there. It is a hard body kit that you can buy, a styrene hand-built plastic card based kit. It comes with the ambulance box, which is over here, which you'll see shortly, and it's sitting on a TRX Sport chassis, and it's quite a piece of work. I hope you'll agree. If you haven't caught up with the video series, please go back and check the playlist where you can go through the episodes and follow my wanderings through the build. So to bring the regular viewers up to speed then, yes, the MOG has been painted using the same AK Interactive acrylic paints, the real colours. They do a NATO camouflage set, so you get the three colours, and I gotta hand it to them, they're pretty accurate. They look spot on, they're the right colours. It's a little darker maybe now because it's had a coat of lacquer on the top, but they are bang on accurate. I have trouble spraying them on, I have to say, because I think they react to the grey primer underneath slightly. I just basically get a little bit of an uneven coating. So you know, if you look at a kid's colouring book, right, and they've coloured in an area with a felt tip pen, you get a little bit of streaking. You don't get a full, even, consistent coat that you'd expect with an airbrush. You get something a little bit patchy. Same problem with the Hummer. I'm going to hide it with this as well. So kind of wasn't surprised, wasn't deterred by it, and the end result's pretty good. You know, there's a little bit of fade, a little bit of an uneven finish, which I think is fairly realistic. And you know, I cracked the screen. I think I told you last time. But yeah, to recap a little, I think the last time you saw the truck, it was primed and the windows were masked off, or I was about to mask the windows off. I can't remember. So yeah, the black window edges were painted. Let me just spin this round a little bit. So the black window edges were painted beforehand. They were sprayed before any paint went on, and then I masked over the top of those window edges. So then applied the camouflage and then peeled the masking off afterwards to leave the black window seals done. The glazing was put in first before all of that. So I had to be a little bit careful with what I was doing. So it was painted, it has been sprayed with the glazing in. That in itself has led to one or two issues when I came to do the underside. So the underside, I wanted black to match the chassis, and I particularly wanted these plastic, where are they? Here. These plastic slivers to be sprayed black so that you can't see through, once the wheel's in, you can't see too far through the chassis. And I wanted that all sort of sprayed black, which meant when I take the cab off, you can see what I mean. So there's an awful lot of holes and so on. There's an awful lot of holes and so on under there to allow the shock towers and the servo to go in. If you can hear a slightly hysterical yapping, it's one of the neighbour's dogs. I think it's going to be a serial killer when it grows up. So I think a little bit of black paint maybe from the rattle can has blasted up and hit the windscreen. So I have got some marks on the windscreen. Now you can, maybe you can't, but you'll have a look in a minute. I'll bring the camera in to have a little closer look. So yeah, it's been pretty much a good success. I'll have to get the interior out and clean the windscreen, and I think we'll be good to go. Also on board is, oh, and I haven't lacquered this, I've just realised. The bumper, which I'll have to lacquer that, but that's going to sit on like so, ish, kind of. And it just screws in underneath the bonnet, a little bit like that probably, and it certainly looks the part. It looks a genuine Mercedes bumper, but obviously isn't rock proof. It's just plastic, so it's going to snap and smash off probably. So I have got some metal bumpers on the way. Hopefully they fit, and hopefully they're not too obtrusive, but they won't look like this. So this will be for trail use, probably around here with me and Terry when we go out. But if it goes over to Wales, the rig, and it will, I will be putting metal on each corner really to avoid too much damage from the rocks. Wheels takes no prisoners, as I've discovered. So let me bring you in a little closer. You can have a little better look at the cab and how the finish is, and then we'll talk about what I'm going to do with the box, which is kind of still in progress. Now you can see the cab a little closer. You can maybe certainly see the marks on the windscreen. I'm hoping you can. And you know, so it's not. I think it's easily solvable, easily rescued. And once I've put some windscreen wiper patterns on, it won't be anything like too obvious. So the colours are good. The camo is okay. I'm not terribly happy with the top of the bonnet, for example. It looks a bit like a kiddie's done it. And but it's very hard to find references and to know, especially when you're doing it. You know, I just do this freehand, so it's quite easy to lose track of where you are. And to lose track of what kind of shapes you should be aiming at. Sometimes I've seen these camouflage patterns and they are very soft edged and very rounded like this is, and sometimes they're very sharp edged and quite jagged in their patches. You know, they're quite they look quite mathematical. So I don't quite know which one to do, and I've kind of settled maybe a little bit in the middle, so it's neither one or the other, and maybe that's why I'm just a little bit nonplussed by it. However, I think it'll look fine from the sides and from the front. I'm happy with that aspect, which is the one that you'll see most often. Wipers, I've got some beautiful metal wipers that came from eBay, which is Noah's Ark RC do them, and you should check them out. They also do beautiful folding steps, which I've also got, and the sort of proper wipers with springs and everything else. So rubber blades that so they'll sit on the windscreen and hug the windscreen, which is, can't wait to sort them out. They're going to look really cool, really good, really accurate. So yeah, the shell's kind of, the body's kind of done, the cab's done, the interior looks on point. I think I hope you'll agree there. The seats don't look too big. Frank looks pretty good in there. The only problem is the steering wheel fell off during painting. So I'm going to have to mock something up with that. When I get the interior out to clean the windscreen, I'll have another go with the steering wheel. I might end up just gluing it into his hands or something, because it's a faff to sort out. It's a real pain to do. Right, so that's enough of the cab. It's obviously going to get weathered and kind of muckied up, and you know, this is really as clean as it's going to look. Now, on the subject of, before I put the cab away, in here are the wheel arches. Now, the two front wheel arches have been painted. They are black, and they are going to go in like so. I could have done them body colour. Some of the Mogs I've seen have got green wheel arches, body colour, effectively wheel arches. But I've done these black just for a little bit of difference. I've seen some of the black as well, so you know, it could be relatively accurate. Everything from this kind of line down is going to be black. So the bumpers are black, the little steps black. That's you know, the continuation of that line across the back of the truck, across the shell, the ambulance box is going to be black as well. Now, what I did with these, I painted them first, and they were corrugated. You may remember, and if I show you one of the back ones, which is unpainted, hopefully you can see that it is corrugated. I don't know whether you can make that out in the light. Don't know whether you can see the corrugations on there, but it is corrugated, where basically on the inside, you can maybe see, on the inside, what he's done is scored rectangles into this strip of card and then bent it to the thinner sections where you've scored it, bend, and that's how he's made the curve. This is one piece of plastic curved, but the trouble is you've then got a fold crease on the top edge. I didn't think it was going to be too bad, because there's a visual difference, a visual corrugation, but then obviously when it's painted you don't see it. But the physical corrugation is quite strong and just wasn't going to look right. So I re-sanded them, re-prepared them, sanded them again, sanded them off, and now I've got smooth black mudguards. So the back ones, they don't stick out as far, so I've sanded the edges where they're going to stick out, and then there'll be maybe a little bit of corrugation visible if you look really too closely. But yeah, pretty much these are the back of the truck hasn't been painted. So the mudguards are done. I mean, really the cab could be assembled, and it will be assembled fairly shortly. All the bits will be added on, and then it'll be good to go. The last thing to show you would be the exhaust, which is one piece here, and it sits under the truck. Let me get this right. So that bottom section goes in behind the step and disappears under the body. This goes into, there's a hole up by the roof, and it will sit a bit like that. Now this has been done in some metallizer paint from yesteryear I found in my old aircraft modelling box, which you're meant to be able to polish up to a shine, but it doesn't really polish up to a shine, unfortunately, so not sure about that. I've also got some metal pipes, courtesy of RC Crawlers Mid-Wales. Steve recommended, well, he found them in Aldi, our discount supermarket, and said these are going to make excellent exhausts. Look at them. They are basically reusable straws. That's what they're billed as, and they are. You get them in sort of brass colour, you get them in gunmetal, and you get them in chrome metal. And they've even got this kind of a bend on them. They're in the kitchen. If I probably should have brought one to show you, but they're the metal tube with a slight bend in it, so they're going to be perfect. So I might actually end up making my own exhaust, and it'll be metal as well, so it should be a little bit stronger than the plastic one. Should this end up on its roof. Oh god, it hurts just to see it. So the exhaust may be a little bit of a work in progress. I may stick with this one, but I might as well try making my own, and I've still got this one to stand by if that doesn't work out. So that's the cab, alright? So I'm quite pleased with it, and I think it's going to look pretty awesome. You'll notice half a window there, yeah, just so you can see, and of course I can get my fingers in or tweezers in should I need to. So that's that. Just put that to one side, and we'll talk about the box. Now, to be honest with you, ooh, that's all a bit close now, isn't it? No. So as it stands, there's not a great deal to show you on this. Well, I have a couple of things. I have put magnets on the back doors. You can see them down there and up here. So they now clip shut, yeah, and don't open. I haven't done the same to the side door yet, so that still flaps about. Yeah. Like a rent boy's and what I've also been busy with this is the bottom section. Speaking of which, down here. Now if I turn the whole box around, oh no, there it is, it's down here, you can see it there. What's this funny looking black thing down here? Well, this is the small part of a wheel rim onto which I'm going to glue the spare tyre section. I don't think this is it actually, I think this is the leftover piece, but nonetheless, you can see it's going to glue around that, and that is going to be my spare tyre placed. Remember I said, I think in the last video, I'm doing the box solid green. It's not going to be camouflaged, so it's not going to match the cab, which is a deliberate, like it's been an afterthought. Now the other thing I've been doing is sanding it down, because the various sections of styrene that have been used, a big piece on the roof, individual pieces on the sides, where they join around these edges, it's quite rough. They needed a bit of work. Again, I'd sprayed it, very lightly sprayed it, and it was very obviously rough. So I'm going to have all the edges nice and smooth. You see where it's been, where I've sanded off on the edges here. So the black's a funny looking thing at the moment. I'll put the windows in last, and on the back of the clear windows I'm going to put sort of curtains. Curtains, what am I talking about? It's a snow runner for you. I'm going to put like window blinds, because I think as a medical truck, having some privacy, having blacked out, you can't see into an ambulance when it goes past, yeah. So I think I'll do that sort of thing. I might even frost one or two of them if I can work out how to do that. And I think it's going to look pretty amazing. It's a beautiful truck. I'm really getting excited about running it. I think it's going to be pretty special. I've got a roof rack, a roof box coming for the top. Oh, on the subject of which, I have also got 2 blue flashing beacons to put on. So it is going to have lights on it, of course it is. 2 flashing beacons, they're going to go on the box. I can't put them on here because of the rack, so they're going to go on probably on opposite corners of the roof box. So that'll be nice. There's some blue flashy lights, especially for the late winter runs that we're going to be doing, no doubt. Alright, so that's pretty much it. There's not much going to happen. I think I'll probably miss next week because I'm going away for a long weekend, non-RC related. So I'm not going to get a lot of this done, or certainly nothing you're going to be able to tell a difference on. So there might not be anything to report by next Tuesday. So apologies, we may miss a week. But I should be back after that, I would imagine, hopefully with a primed, or at least primed, if not fully painted, rear section, which would be pretty exciting. Especially for those of you who like a painted rear section. If you do like rear painted sections, hit the subscribe, hit the bell, and you'll see more of them. So, on that note, disappointing or otherwise, I shall bid you good night. Thank you for watching. Do hit the bell, do hit the subscribe button if this is your first voyage into RC. And I shall see you in a week, maybe 2 weeks probably. But do stay well and keep the rigs coming, keep the YouTube videos coming, and I shall see you later. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.